and today we're going to discuss the Texans versus the Chargers and a great win. Finally, the defense didn't fail Deshaun Watson, but I'm going to wait for a few more of you guys to go ahead and get on here so we can discuss tonight's game against the Chargers. Man, appreciate it, Braylon. I see you in here already. We about to get it, man. I'm probably gonna do. Oh, Trill, I see you, baby. I was I was telling Honcho to let you know that I was getting ready to stream, but I see y'all in here, quick. So shout out to Balin, Trill, JXO, Houston B, Danny, that cool Amber, your boy Anthony Bailey, David Pritchard, Arturo, man. Great win by the Texans today, man. Great win by the Texans, man. We needed this win. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. The moderators telling y'all what to do. So y'all make sure y'all enforce the rules because we definitely need to go ahead and talk about this win. I know y'all just saw South Sports, so I just want some of y'all to come on in so I can give a little bit more input. I'm probably going to end up doing like a 15-minute video about this and hear some of y'all thoughts about it, and y'all drop it in the chat. The video's over. Make sure if y'all not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon for all notifications. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Yeah, it was a great win, man. Berkeley Boss was good. El Guapo, Sherman Hill, Joseph Lopez, Jabari, Sherman Hill was good. Was good with it. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Yeah, I can't complain. Shout out to Kenneth, man. Tevin, what's good? Yeah, this was a great team win, man. The Honey Badger, what it do? Buck, what's going on? Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Tay Hill, what's good? Yeah, we can go ahead and we're going to get into it. I see it's a few of y'all already in here, man. We 23 deep as it stands right now. The video only been on for 2 minutes, but let's go ahead and get into this win, man. It was not looking good for the Houston Texans in the first couple of quarters. Oh shit, Heidi. Mrs. Kleindienst is in the building. Okay, I see you. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, the defense was not looking good pretty much throughout the whole game. Romeo Cadell was playing off way too far. I didn't get to see the opening fumble. All I saw was because I was having troubles with my stream because they didn't have the thing out here, so I was trying to watch this down in my room. Damn connection was tripping, so I missed the fumble. And the next thing I know, I saw that the Chargers had 7 on the board already. So I'm like, oh man, here we go. Sure enough, it started messing up a little bit more. Next thing I know, I see they scored again, and then we end up scoring the little. We ended up scoring later on in the game. I don't know. It just seemed like in the first half, Austin Eckler was just eating on us. He was eating on us just like I thought he would. And this defense had no answers for this man. They could not stop him. I don't know what they were thinking. They didn't really adjust to it until the second half came, which I'm going to get to in a second. Deshaun Watson was playing well. I mean, the defense of the Chargers was actually able to get good pressure on Watson, but they weren't really able to hit home. They did hit him a few times, and they did, cause a few penalties that ended up going our way to help us out in the game, which we really needed. Shout out to Broderick. What's good? And it's just like some penalties went our way, but they were justified. It's not like they were egregious penalties. David Wynn was good. But we needed this win for multiple reasons, man. For one, it was an AFC game. We need all the AFC wins we can get. We only have one loss to the NFC, and I'm pretty sure with everything that's happening to rosters across the league, you got Cam Newton. He's not playing, but his backup came in and played very well today. H-Town Sports, what it do? Footballer, what's good? T. Flores, what it do? Yeah, the Panthers, he came in, he played well for the Panthers, and they got a dub. The Atlanta Falcons, they lost Keanu O'Neal, their strong safety, to an Achilles injury. So we have a couple of games that's getting ready to come up, especially when it comes to the NFC South before we head back to the AFC West to face the Chiefs. And I'm not sure with the way that the defense has been called, Romeo Cadell cannot withstand playing off against teams like Kansas City and things of that nature. Corbin, what's good? And Everyday Dre Day, what's good? It make McVice, what it do? Yeah, it makes no sense that this man played off pretty much. It took him to the fourth quarter to finally realize. Like, I'm not sure if he was able to hear the guys upstairs doing the commentary, but I'm pretty sure like he was listening in, and it's Bill O'Brien or somebody had to make sure that this man was doing what he was doing. Yeah, and we finally got it done. Shout out to Bryce and Danny MTZ. How y'all doing? Yeah, man, and I thought the running game of the Houston Texans was pretty much going to be able to get off today, but it really didn't go anywhere. I figured that Carlos Hyde was going to be able to find some holes. Drady, what's up? And he wasn't really able to hit it. He had a couple of short runs that were decent, that moved the chains, so that, the downs were shorter, but I don't know. They weren't able to really hit the outside. They weren't really able to run up the gut. And the interior D-line of the Chargers played better than I thought they were. I thought we were going to be able to exploit that a whole lot more. But just like I knew once everything got cooking, I knew we were going to be able to exploit their linebacking core and their corners and safeties when the time came. We just had too many options, and Deshaun Watson, with the mobility and the fact that he was just a magician out there on the field today, the man was able to move in the pocket. He was stepping up. Dudes couldn't tackle him. They couldn't finish. And the interior of the O-line for the Houston Texans played well. Like, I can't take that away from them. These dudes played well, but that's what we needed. Titus Howard played very well at right tackle. He held Joey Bosa in check, and we really played disciplined football when it came to the O-line. I can't say that really hasn't been the case the last 2 weeks because this has been an undisciplined football team on the O-line, but it was good to see that they coached these guys up and they made it possible for these guys to come out with a decent win against the Chargers, because this is our second win against the Chargers, and Phillip Rivers, usually tends to put up big points, and he was able to do that against us today. I mean, if it wasn't for his receivers in the end failing him, they catch a couple of passes. If Benjamin makes that pass, before Gibson, he dropped it. Then Gibson, made sure he didn't catch it, but it was a real close game. It was a nail biter all the way to the end. And, as the Texans fan, we all hate to be in these type of games because we know the Texans usually don't close these type of games out. And it was just good to see, man. Brandon 335, what's going on? As far as Lonnie, I see y'all asking about Lonnie. Lonnie played pretty good. He did give up some big plays though. He was able to be taken advantage of sometimes. Wise Vincent, what's good? Hey, Wise, hey, let everybody know in the chat that I'm going live right now. Yeah, Tristan Deku, if he was an option, I'd definitely, bring him back. But if he's going to end up playing zone and Romeo Crennel is going to call the defense the exact same way that he was calling in today's game, it does us no good to have a guy like Tristan Deku or anybody else with any speed and length to play on this football team. It makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, JJ finally showed up. Shout out to me about it made no sense how JJ Watt was getting handled the first couple of games. And y'all can sit here and chalk up Charles and Minihue and this and that. Bro, he been getting some good pressure. I will say he's been decent. But he ain't knocking your socks off. He ain't doing what Whitney Mercilus is doing. So, I'm going to take it game by game, but I'm going to give him some credit. He played well. He was in the quarterback space, which is what we need. We needed some interior pressure. In nickel situations, he was able to shoot through them B gaps and make something happen. Guys were able to finish, and it seemed when the defense was able to play tighter coverage, or when they played wide nine technique, when they would drop down in 4-3, it just seemed like this pass rush was able to hit home. If this is one thing that kills me about the Houston Texans, it's games and when you see them doing things like that, when they are getting home. Shout out to Bryson, what's good? Michael Shelton, what's good? When you see the Houston Texans pass rush hitting home the way that they were hitting today, it's why do the Houston Texans coaching staff always go away from things that are working? When they were bringing, early on, they were only bringing 3-man pressures. And I know I'm not the only one who see this. They were dropping back 8, way off of the mark. Why were you doing that? That made absolutely no sense. DJ Reader, he had a good game, man. He brought a lot of interior pressure today to go along with what Charles Omenihu was able to do. And Whitney Mercilus, once again, he's the player of the game on the defense once again, man. The man got the strip sack. He was making pressure. He was moving the pocket. He was setting the edge, very good in the second half of the football game. I can't really speak for the first half because Austin Eckler and Jackson were doing exactly what they wanted to do, and Phillip Rivers had entirely too much time because they weren't getting any pressure in his face. Once that man had time, y'all saw what he was doing. He still threw for like 300-some yards. He still threw for like, 3 touchdowns? 2 touchdowns. And I think they hit like 2 field goals. But it was still a close game. It was closer than it should have been. And Keenan Allen, that man was putting in work. And just like I said, if they would have had if they played soft zones and they had these cushions that they were giving them, a guy like Keenan Allen was going to carve us up. And this man had over 180 yards with like 12, 13 catches and 2 touchdowns. The defense had horrible technique. They were getting penalties at the wrong time. They were playing too far off. And the tackling, from the secondary was just awful. I mean, J.J. missed a couple of tackles on Keenan Allen. Even when he got in tighter coverage, he ended up missing a tackle. He played it perfectly, but he ended up missing them. And then this was like in the fourth quarter. And then, Allen ended up getting like a 30-yard gain out of that. And it was just ridiculous, man. I don't know what was wrong with Justin Reed early in the game. I mean, he got hurt like 3 times. He needs some rest this week. They need to go ahead and make sure he rests up, make sure that he gets healthy, because we are definitely going to need him going forward, because he is our big playmaker in the secondary. We need all the help we can get, and we need all the defensive help we can get at this time from our pass rush, from our middle linebackers, from our outside linebackers. We need everything, and we need the play calling to be on point. You have to play the Texans the way that they played in the second half of this football game. If there are other teams with way more options who are far more lethal than what the Chargers had today, and the Chargers were still able to put up decent yards. We are not going to be able to do this against Atlanta in a couple of weeks. We are not going to be able to do this against the Colts, who T.Y. Hilton ended up sustaining an injury in his game, and he didn't come back. I don't know how serious it is, but I'm pretty sure by the time it comes to play Houston, he'll be ready to play. This is a guy that we need to take care of. The Chiefs, man, it's not looking good after what I just seen them do to the Ravens early on. I didn't get to finish watching the whole game, but they were playing exceptionally well against the Ravens in the first half. HTX Pox 22, what's good? McVice, what's good? Yeah, man. They were putting it on us, man. And Atlanta has been getting smashed, but that's a team that can turn it on against the Houston Texans and turn their season around. This is not a team that you can think, because they're getting injuries and this and that. Like the Jags had injuries last week and we still almost lost. I mean, this game was tight enough and they had a couple of key injuries, but not enough to where it made a difference in them between winning and losing. Nobody is going to say the Chargers didn't win because they didn't have Derwin James on the field. No one is going to say that. Shout out to Ray Ray. Yeah, no one's going to say that. No one has the right to say that the Chargers didn't win. Nobody can even say the Chargers didn't win this because of penalties or anything like that. They weren't robbed of anything. They players down the stretch ended up dropping some key passes. And honestly, the defense almost let them right back into the game at the very end. They held up. They ended up getting a couple of completions. And it was very nice to see Zach Cunningham drop all the way in the end zone on that deep when he was covering in the middle for that pass breakup against Mike Williams at the end of the game before they went on that long 4th down before their drive was over and we got the ball back and kneeled it out. Because in the past, he would have gave that play up. And I'm so glad. Another key thing that nobody's going to mention, but I noticed it at the end on that last drive, I think it was like 4th and 12 or something like that, and they didn't like the play call, and Bill O'Brien called a timeout to give the defense more time to get the right play in because it was something that he did not see, and that's what a head coach is supposed to do. When you see that your team is in a vulnerable position, you call a timeout, you make sure that these guys are set, and you make sure that they are in the best position to win the game, and that's just what happened. I really feel like Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson are going to be able to step it up in the next couple of weeks. I don't really see them, I mean, this was just a good defensive game, and they sold out against the run because they wanted Deshaun Watson, to end up making a mistake, which he really didn't make outside of the fumble that he had early on. And he recovered from that, and he didn't throw any interceptions. He almost threw that interception, which I'm glad they overturned, for a penalty because they were putting their hands all on his face, that he was getting hit late. All kind of things were happening. But at the end of the day, the Houston Texans prevailed, and this is a great win. And this gives them the confidence going forward because the Los Angeles Chargers were looked at as a Super Bowl contender. So, Joshua Grant, what's good? So we got to take this win in stride, man. But how do y'all feel? Spoilers. What's going on? What I spoil? What you mean? No, Whitney is playing very well, man. I can't say, but Whitney was supposed to be playing in that spot even with Clowney here. I think if you drop Clowney down to the right end and you have Whitney Mercilus behind Clowney, that maximizes your speed on two sides of the ball because it just didn't seem like playing behind J.J. Watt was beneficial to Whitney Mercilus in that portion of the scheme. It just didn't seem like that was the right thing to do. But one thing that I do want to say, man, these tight ends, did they ball today or what? That play that Deshaun Watson got away from and he dumped the ball down softly to when everybody was on the left side of the field, and when he dumped the ball down to Akins, and all I could see because I was on the stream and next thing you know, I seen Wise, he had said something on Skype, and I just saw it like he was just like, let's go. And then shortly after that, I seen the play. I saw how wide open he was. And how about that block from Kenny Stills or how he drove the safety out of that play so that Akins could walk that ball right on in, man. That was a great game. The tight ends ate all game. Darren Fells played. He came up with some real key catches. Outside of his touchdown catch, the man played well. He was very good on third down. I can't really say anything bad about the offense this game outside that they started off pretty slow. But once they picked it up, and I stated before the game even started in the pregame stream on Honcho's live stream, the third quarter was going to decide whether the Texans win or lose, and Whitney Mercilus, as I stated, would end up getting a forced fumble and a sack. I said he was going to get 2 sacks, but he got 1 sack with the forced fumble, and the Texans actually got the score I predicted them to get. I predicted the game to be 27-24, and it was 27-20. So I had the Texans right on the money. Lonnie. Oh, I already mentioned Lonnie, but just to for anybody who didn't hear about what I said about Lonnie played pretty good, but he was getting taken advantage of. He can't be over aggressive and he can't over pursue his man. That's one thing that he has to learn. He was doing that a little bit too much today, and he has to correct that as soon as he can. But I'm glad he's on the field, able to get the in-game experience to learn from his mistakes. That way, when he's going forward, he can be sound technically. Hey Zeus, what's going on? Kenny Stills was a guy. I knew when we got Kenny Stills. I love the Kenny Stills move. I knew once we got him, I was like, bro, this sets us up to be one of the better receiving cores in the league, but I didn't think it was the best. People went to Twitter immediately and was like, yeah, this is the best receiving core. We're going to have to wait and see, man. And this O-line, man, Anthony, this O-line played very well, bro. I can't really say that this O-line played excellent. Sharpen played well. He played better than I thought he was going to play at left guard. Eric Villa was good. He played very well. Oh, and I'm doing streams about boxing this week about the Spence Porter fight. Matter of fact, I'm more than likely I'm gonna do one tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do like 3 or 4 of them throughout this week. So you be on the lookout for that. Don't even worry about it. I got you, bro. I see no reason why this team should not build with this line, but I still feel that it would be a whole lot stronger if they moved. Either they can either keep the line that they had today and play Mance at center instead of Nick Martin, because Nick Martin was still getting pushed back. And what was your question, Balin? I didn't see it. What's good, Big Al? I didn't see your question. What was your question? Type it again. Yeah, Sharpen played like a dog, man. I didn't have no issues from him whatsoever. Titus Howard played exceptionally well, and he put in work against Bosa. I mean, I know Bosa got that sack at the end, but that was kind of, the pocket in the middle, it ended up breaking down in the horseshoe. So, I mean, Watson couldn't really step up. He couldn't even really throw, even if he wanted to throw the ball away, it more than likely could have been an interception or anything like that, because I don't think he was even going to be able to plant his foot the way that he did. And the O-line is playing exceptionally well. I know on the forecast they were trying to really talk down on the way that the O-line was playing, but the O-line was playing well, man. Would I be okay with packaging Kiki and picks for Ramsey? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? I mean, I don't know what's going on with Kiki. I don't know why he's not seeing time, but Kenny Stills is durable. Kenny Stills can stretch the field, and he's big time when we need him. Hence what he did in the second quarter. The man has made key catches in every single game that we've had since he's been on the roster, and he's been here only for 3 weeks now? 3-4 weeks now? That's crazy. It's 3 weeks in the season, and he got here a week before we playing. So 4 full weeks that he's been here, and he's already making a huge impact on Deshaun Watson. And it's only going to get better after the first month goes away. So when the bye week comes in week 10, you can only expect him to do way better things. Oh, and that flea flicker, bro. That flea flicker, I didn't expect that. When I saw him toss that thing back, and when I saw how deep he was, I thought it was going to be an overthrow. But when I saw him when I saw how he tracked that ball and he sped up, and when he reached out and grabbed that was a fantastic play. And that's what you want for your receivers. I'm not sure if Kiki was in that situation, he would have been able to do that at his size. So that's a huge thing that we do have from this receiving core, and they are no longer a detriment. And we can say that we have some options that go along with what DeAndre Hopkins is able to afford. Casey Hayward played a very good game against DeAndre Hopkins. But I can say it was a matter of the play calling early on, because they were trying to go deep and they were trying to run these deep dig routes. I mean, I like the crossing routes that they were running, but I felt like if they would have ran more hooks, more curls, if they would have ran more slants and things like that earlier on, with DeAndre Hopkins, he would have had a bit more catches, more production. And I think that one thing that's really not being said, even though Fuller was in the game and he caught a couple of passes, they need to get this man the ball some more. I think if you get him the ball a little bit more, and if you get him on the shorter routes, then and with his ability to be able to break away and go for long gains, I think that'll be beneficial for this football team. But I'm gonna get to one abysmal play call that Bill O'Brien had early. Did y'all see that? Like, I want to say it must have been the second possession that the Texans had. They were driving the ball and it ended up being like a 3rd and 2. Did y'all see that damn screen that they tried to set up on 3rd down early, that he tried to throw to Fuller and it got blown up? I was raging. I was like, why would they throw that in that situation when you were moving the ball the way that they did? It made absolutely no sense. And I don't know why in the hell he thought that was a feasible play call in that position. Like, you were, I want to say, like, you were close to the 50 when you did that. And I was just like, it was 3rd and 2. I was like, bro, you cannot be serious with running them type of plays. But after that, I mean, the play calling ended up getting better. We went 21 and 20 and 3 a run, in the 3rd quarter. And then when they made that mistake, I knew the game was over once Phillip Rivers made that mistake. So the chat is too known. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. These screens are getting ridiculous. Yeah, they are, man. How about running the ball on 1st down 8 times? I don't have a problem with that, because honestly, I needed them to move the ball, because if you would have moved the ball a whole lot more, I felt that the play action would have been wide open, and we would have been able to launch the ball downfield, which we were still able to do. And regardless of running the ball, the play action was still very effective against this team. But the main reason why it was is because they don't have the linebackers to contend with any of these receivers, and their secondary really didn't help them out that much. I mean, we can say what we want about what the Houston Texans secondary was doing. We forget that Deshaun Watson threw for 3 touchdowns, and he threw for like 50 more yards than Phillip Rivers did. So we got to take that in consideration. They didn't play much better than our secondary. They were playing off, and they had, they were playing tight when they could, but the Chargers, they gave a valiant effort while they could. I really thought that we were going to end up giving up that 4th down late, but we prevailed. They knocked the ball away, to complete the pass. And yes, the time management and everything was much better. But I think this team seriously needed to consider bringing a guy like Taco Charlton in this week. I feel like he would have been a great addition. Maybe not for this game, but in games after this. And I just feel like we definitely need another corner. I don't think Phillip Gaines is going to be able to come in and, if anybody goes down, and he's going to be able to relieve anybody in any situation. The only way I even see him touching the, getting on the field when the defense is playing is in dime situations. If he's not playing dime or, any quarters defense, when we're going, late to close out a game, I see no reason why he's going to get any real playing time, and he was a useless signing. But, I'm going to get to some of y'all's comments, man, because I'm getting ready to close this video out in a little bit. I'm probably going to close it out at like 30 minutes, so we got like another 4 minutes to go. And, yeah, I see they got him. He was in today's games. I didn't see him. If he did play, he was probably playing on special teams. I didn't see him making no plays. It was good to see Dylan Cole getting a lot of burn out there, man. It was good to see him. They called a horrible penalty on him early on in the game. He didn't get his head turned around, but he made a good defensive play on the ball I want to say it was on a corner route or something like that, and he made a good play, but they ended up calling him for PI, which I felt was horrible, but it is what it is. He sacked Dak. Who sacked Dak? I love to have Taco, but he was here. But he wasn't there for us on the waiver wire. No, he was there. We didn't go get him. We could have got him. I mean, he just didn't. We could have got him, but I don't know what happened. Game came in only when Joseph got hurt. Oh well, that ain't saying much. And I feel Lonnie can improve. He can improve his game a whole lot, but this is why it was vital for him to get in, play against big options like Mike Williams. He played against Keenan Allen. He played pretty much against everybody. He gave up some plays, but at the end of the day, he made up for other plays down in the row. So it's too early for me to say Omenihu was a beast. I won't say he a beast, but he did play pretty well in this game. He made his presence known, and he was in Phillip Rivers' face quite a bit. So I'm willing to go ahead and say that he had a very good game. But a beast, I can't go that far just yet. I just can't do it. I feel he'll become a beast to me once he maximizes his leverage and he uses his length to his full advantage. Once he does that, and I see him running over dudes and he's bending the corner on the edge, then you'll hear me say, yo, Omenihu was that dude. But as it stands right now, he's had a couple of good games. I'm willing to concede that he's had some good games, but keep it up. And the special teams was pretty good. We had pretty good field position throughout this game. What's the call? Got to step it up. He can't be missing PATs, man. He can't be missing PATs. And Fairbairn, I know the moment was getting critical for him, but it was no reason why the score shouldn't have been 28-20. Barkevius Mingo is not going to see any real time on this Texans team. The only way he's going to see any real time is if we have a vital injury. Outside of that, he's not going to be playing, him or Jacob Martin. But I see Jacob Martin getting way more burned than he has. Jacob Martin was out on the field. And matter of fact, Jacob Martin could have had a sack, but he ended up falling down late in the game. I want to say it was like early in the fourth quarter, and it was a scramble, and it was a pass that was completed downfield. I like Anger, but I like Trevor Daniels way more than him. He's able to pin the ball, but I can understand he wasn't pinning the ball, and his he was giving up a lot of field position with the way he was punting the ball the last couple of games, but they weren't even patient enough to even let him ride it out to see if he can get his footing right. So That sucks for Trevor Daniel. I'm sure he'll land on his feet somewhere. But this was a great win by the Houston Texans. I can't complain. You guys make sure y'all hit that like button. And if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. I'm getting ready to bring this video to a close, man. Rod M. JJ needs a good dose of Jesus, man. I'm pretty sure he does. But I mean, if that's who he chooses to believe in. But I don't think Jesus had anything to do with his play on the field. I think Rack had everything to do with that. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the game. If y'all have any more thoughts on this game, if y'all feel some kind of way, if I didn't answer your question, you make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe. If you like the content, make sure you hit that bell icon and get in the comment section, and I'll be sure to hit you guys back. But man, a great win by the Houston Texans. Can't stress that enough. But this is Third Coast Sports TV. I'm your host, Wink. Talk sports, love sports, enjoy sports, baby. We got a great win. Let's see if we can go come right back home and beat the Panthers next week.